Like it's going. It's rolling. Hi, guys. Probably on. Let's turn you around. Is it working? Yay. Stay. Wait for it. Okay. Hi, guys. How are you? Thank you for your patience. Okay, cool. Let's check the chat. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Right. As usual, was getting information right at that last moment while this was starting. Okay, good. Yay. Hi, how's it going? A quick tech check and we'll start into this. Whatever this is. It's interesting, isn't it? This whole process. Oh, my phone is on dim. I need to see it brighter. Thank you. Okay, good. Now I can see. Okay, guys, everything good? All right. Looks like I was 10 minutes late because I was getting information. You know, that information doesn't show up until the moment that something's happening. And so really there is no scheduling on our level for this stuff because the design doesn't show up for what's supposed to happen or what can occur. And so thank you very much for showing up on this October 20th, 2018 broadcast of the Kartron Experience. This is episode 7 of the 24th season, and this is the Self to Soul. Our titles are now kind of self-explanatory. So basically, we're going to take yourself and bring it into your soul. Kartron will. Because what that does is it's going to align the situation so that when he does the integration next week towards Halloween, then you guys will be, part of the pretty kitty process. It's interesting. The nature of life is unique because it's like, sometimes I wonder, what are we doing here? Okay, good. So there. All right. So can you see me okay? Is everything good? It's buffering? Okay, good. I got like super bars. Enough. All right. So I want to get right into this. The diagrams that were coming out were really cool. Sometimes when we're doing this work and we write it out, we're going, well, duh. That's pretty obvious. But to get to the place of the divine duh, come on, computer. By the way, I'm in front of a blue Visqueen tarp. Let's see how that works. It's just that cheap blue tarp, but it's covering our bedding and stuff for the plays. And so to get to that place where your divinity can go, duh, well, that's obvious, hello, is a very interesting journey. And what happens with me and probably you guys is, where you go through all this stuff. Like over here in the mental fields of this part of the world, you go through all this journey of this tachyonic field and movement and hurrying up and all that. And it's just this really harried place sometimes. And I see a lot of people caught up in that, and that's cool. I just get out of their way because they're zipping around. And it's like this energy that's going on here is very interesting. I don't know if I've ever explained the field that I have discovered with the Atlantean construct. It's a very interesting sandwiching of dynamics of different directions. A little dark. Okay, I'm going to turn this up, and then this side, the streetlight side, won't be as bright. So just deal with it. Haha. My little tripods. Yes, my precious. Okay, so there. That should be even enough. How's that? It's what it is. Oh, now it's really bright. That's too hot. Okay, good. Um, so goodbye. I'll talk to you later. Kartron going to come through, and this is the integration week for the soul self. So that's what you guys are going to get. And I'm not going to talk about all this other stuff, but maybe for the record, I should share what I wrote in the newsletter, because I don't know if everybody got the newsletter. And for the record, for this recording, maybe we should say it, because this was something about a trend that's going on. And so I'll just read this and then I'll leave. Kartron, okay. This really isn't that interesting. The background is blue tarp that you get really cheap. And so on this update for today for the newsletter is, I never knew it was so easy to juggle nitroglycerin before. But being here in a body and delving in the dark, moldy wood of our camper project, then going to do a newsletter of divine proportions for tonight's show, shows me we can be very diversified in our approach to life. The thing about being a thirder body, in a thirder body, while connected to information that should be illegal to possess in these denser material realms, is you never know what's next on your to-do list. With the new controlled substance laws on the books in most states, possession is not only legal now, but encouraged by the system, which seems to reward you with not going to jail just because you wanted to take the edge off with a hit of divine wisdom once in a while. So go ahead, light up a big Kartronian fatty of divine energy, knowing it's legal now to own such dangerous substance as energy and information, which just may wind up helping you permanently wake up from this rather psychotic dream called life on Earth. There is a disclaimer. This Daddy K Shuga stuff is considered by some to be a gateway wisdom and may lead to other divine occurrences. We're not saying it will happen, but it might happen. And so now you know, and we did tell you. So if you think it is merely recreational, think again. This is serious stuff. That's why we make sure to always play at ease. Anyway, it just seemed necessary because everybody's so busy about making sure the laws are there so you can roll your own. And it's like, okay, what drug do we use? We use divine energy. And so when we look at it that way, let's have Kartron talk about that, because that's a very interesting thing about it, okay? And so this process is so unique because we are in such extreme differences. That's what I call juggling nitroglycerin, because there's a volatility when you jump from one dimensional plane to the next, because the laws and everything are different. How can you do this when you basically going through the dodgeball of polarity of all this energy? I felt an ominousness, and I'm wondering where it was. It was like a very subtle dread, and I think it's collective. But a lot of that stuff is in death now, to where it's saying, "Oh my God, I will talk with you guys later." Upon feeling that energy of that ominousness that Patrick had detected about 40 minutes ago, he had mentioned to Rebecca about maybe it's time to do a good chimney cleaning for the world. What say you about that? Should we clear the energetic dynamics in the atmosphere to make room for the next set? When we do this, it actually clears the energy. So like a chimney sweep, we clear the energy so that it can be easier to breathe. How are you guys doing this October 20th, 2018 on this side of the pond? How are your lives? The nature of your process that brought you here, really, if you look at the countenance of it, You did not just, oh, I'm going to go and seek out new life and boldly go where no what the hell's going on had gone before. You came to this place specifically because you vibrationally qualified yourselves to be able to get to that state, the state of being, to where you are not only no longer affected by the polarity of the intensity and density and that trauma of that trauma, but also at the place where you can then elevate and graduate to the plane of your natural state of existence. It is this that you are dedicated for, right? Otherwise, you could be doing something else and really see what the latest kitten coming out of the tree or wrestling monkeys is doing on Facebook or something. And so today we are going to really get this going, okay? And so this is about taking yourself and we're going to bring it into your soul. See, normally we would have you just go and leave that self. No, this is me, this is my identity, this is my me self or your you self. And so this is you, the you who you are in this world. This is the worldly shell, the identity of yourself as a being separate and incarnated with a character and personality, which is defined by all sorts of cool stuff, experiences, influences, and etc., covenants, evolutions. But we never really brought that in. And so what we're going to do with you guys is we're going to bring the shell in today. And that's what Patrick was getting the information about. It's like, oh my God, well, how would you actually collapse the ego identity self construct of your character into your soul? And that is what he was designing 10 minutes ago. The information does not show up because it's not from this now. It's not even forming in this now. It is being able to reach that certain plane, right? And so once you do that, you say, aha, here it is, boink. So this is the, then if you guys contemplate this to get this information, such as what will be shown to you, it is this information that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You see, your lives are about to start taking on much greater fulfillment of meaning and purpose of why you're truly here. This quiet time hopefully was enjoyed by you, of this quietude that allowed you to have this stasis, this solitude that's like, oh, okay, because this was the time for you to really recontemplate everything. But now there's going to be a quickening, and you guys are going to have this catalyzation. Now, what's going on energetically with you as beings of light, especially with the Kartron group, because we've been working with you personally, is we are literally gearing you up for that activation. So you have collapsed in your existences, the stuff you did, who you were, your identities. This is how you made money, all this stuff. This is who I was based upon this to fit into this paradigm that is not. And so with all of that collapsing on that level, you had to be put into a stasis, which seems very solace. So this solace, this innate quiet, was a place for you to shut down and become unengineered, discreated. And so as you discreated, then as we deconstructed your being, because it was the reference that you were using, what you had built or what had been built for you to relate to this world, but you're leaving this world. Does this make sense? So a new construct has been defined and designed over the years, and especially these last few seasons. Because if we're going to collapse who you've been, right? And even the reality itself, and then so you don't have to be the definition of who you've been based upon the foundation of that characterization of the past. You get to actually, in redefining of the what once was of who you have been and basically are still now then, to reconstruct this process because you've made it. You've done it. You've checked off all these things off your lists. As such, you're not really functional nor useful to the highest level on this level if you're going to just be this thing that's going to keep sitting and spinning in the same patterns. We might as well use you for who you truly are, right? Or now. Watch out, the angels are afoot at night. Oh, close the windows because skeeters. Oh, this deodorant spray by EO with geranium in it will be very good at telling them to go to some other part of the planet rather than seek angel blood. And so, does this make sense, everybody? So we cannot have you be the same you. So tonight, as we've done all this prep work, it's time to collapse it. We're going to take like an accordion and we're going to fold you together and make you neatly fit into your soul. And so, of course, this is like, okay, let's see what happens. And Patrick's like, well, so it's like this, the Kartron, the show's starting, yeah, but da 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 da. So it's like, whoa, the physical stuff that he's got to deal with, also being very fulfilled of his time and energy. It's like he has to basically really put on a different costume of consciousness so he can connect into that MOG, the mind of God. Because this ain't normal stuff. That's why the Daddy K Sugar has a warning label on it. So today, the inner cover came off. So looks like we only need one cover. And so, guys, we could get you right into this, but let's do a breath, and then we'll get into this so that we can have you comprehend the science that we're actually applying. Because it's like, oh, okay, that. And since these are new engineering projects, it's like, that's why we need you as a litmus. What require you to litmus this? Oh, what's going on? Da da da. Oh, I freaked out. Or my psyche fractured. Oh, this is okay, and I'm feeling great. You are the finger on the pulse of these new engineering sciences of the new earth. These will become the foundation sciences for heaven on earth in the new earth Gaia. That is why Patrick has to keep making them. He's replacing himself with all of these processes. And so, Archangel Michael, sound the clarion call as we open the portal to the Grand Hall of the Archangels, Saint Germain, open up the gateway to the Ascended Lord Lady Masters of Shambhala, and also the spirit guides of the Ascended Masters, which would be more like the, not the Elohim, but the higher councils of the cosmos. Also, your higher selves, everybody, your hoodies in heaven. We are also opening up the High Council of Earth, the grand primordial elementals and the watchers, the timekeepers and all of that, because these guys are the ones who have watched you go through it. It's time for the new self, the one that has all of those parts intact. So they're going to watch you guys basically become undone this evening. In this way, we get to kill who you are now so that you can be reborn and put you in the chrysalis of your own souls. Still want to play? Then let's boogie. The tech is okay, yes? Everything is happy, yay. We are right now forming a construct, a crystalline matrix portal system in the crystal matrix grid outside of it that we've never installed before. Crystal matrix grid on the outside of the atmosphere of this planet was designed to filter out and prevent the negativity that was bombarding this planet from deep space. A few years later, they actually found a reptilian ship that was bombarding darkness, and they took it out. And so we were putting up this filter system, this net to catch it. and say, no, thank you. Because if they could mess up this thing where humans, you guys, light workers, all that, were left to your own devices, then it would be like, aha, see, we won. Some petty little crap that nobody has time for. Not in the universal creation sense. This earth is slated to be one of the key primary liaisons of this new universal day. It's not just the new earth. This is what the new earth is connected with all over the universe. And so here you are, the hoodies, light workers, boots on the ground. Here you are doing it. So today, let's take you out by going in. The nature of the field, this would be good so that you guys may identify this somewhere else. What's happening here, okay? And Patrick was like, this is weird. I've never seen this before, but he's never hung out in an Atlantean field construct before. So we're going to show you how this is designed. And it's very odd. And we're going to come up with a system that will allow you to be able to traverse through different time fields that are reversed upon themselves and still maintain an integrity and consciousness of self. And so this is Atlantis, right? And so here's the outer continents, America, Europe. Okay, so here's Florida and South America. And so the Atlantean field is very different than the Lemurian one, okay? There is a certain major dynamic going on. Why do you think Bermuda's all still messed up? We did a lot of work there, okay? And a little backwards, but that's okay. So this is reversed. Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll call this Europe. And this will be America. It's ironic because here, we're drawing a number 1. Is it backwards? No, but it's reversed. Anyway, isn't that interesting that it's forward and being reversed at the same time, which is what the field is around Atlantis. You see, as is this field of going on, and this is like a magnetic field. You take two of the same poles, the same ends of a magnet, north-north, it's going to repel normally in normal physics. And so there's a repelling field here. So as you get closer into the Atlantean construct, all right, then you get into this other field. So there's a sandwich layer which reverses everything. That's why there's so many reverses going on near the Atlantean construct. So it's like it bounces out and it repels, right? So it's like a combination of magnetism and mirrorism and all that. And so it will bounce out. And so the closer you get, the further away you go. Now, one of the things that is because time is going in 2 different directions. Remember, the earth flipped over. So if this is time and the world flipped over, right, then the time field changed. So Atlantis was one of the major components to this flip. And so, of course, it would energetically still be quite connected. So you have this repelling or this repellation going on to this Atlantean field. And this is what Patrick has deduced, because it seems like the opposites are more concentrated here. Does that make sense? And does that resonate or confirm other things that you guys have seen? So it's like, what is going on? So the nature of this process is so interesting. And in order to be able to create a proper beginning in a realm where distortion is the professional capacity, that's the primary construct, the primary dynamic that is operating. Like Patrick, when researching the civilizations of antiquity, you have to go to find where there's no distortion. So we had to go past time itself and get to these civilizations of antiquity. And so you have to go to the place where there is nothing warped or thrown off or distorted or reversed. Otherwise, you start from that distortion, you're going to have a distortion and it doesn't work with that intent of creating the new pure system. And so what is necessary is that's why we went back 16 millenniums in 2 seasons ago or 3 to then say, okay, great, we're going to start where it's not messed up yet and start from there. So with yourself, you have these layers of inherent distortion that are engineered as part of your character because that's the nature of polarity. It's a diminishment and step down system. So you can't just say, oh, I'm going to go to my physical or my emotional layer and start from there, because you'll still have that wonkiness. So it's necessary to go and collapse it and then redefine it in the place of purity in your soul. So this is pretty major shamanic alchemy. And so we would not have just done this, boom, hey, everybody, you're in your soul. How's that like? I'm burning. Because it wouldn't have been fair to you if we'd have done this a few years ago. You were not properly tempered for this field of the soul. Notice how many times they've really brought this out in the last year or so? It's like, whoa, 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 soul to self, da, 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 da. This has all been calibration. And so let us begin. And so, Kalis, it's not yours to nullify. Collectively, individually, you are making your own consensual choice on what capacity of your being shall be subject to, inherent, connected with, whatever, to that nullification. Or actually, you notice how the distortion nullifies the correction. So it's like this weird. It's like the closer you get, the weirder it gets. Patrick's like, this is divinely nonsensical. It's supposed to not make sense, because otherwise they could have screwed it up thousands of years ago. It's waiting for the moment for those who have rite of passage that can go in their pure states and reconstruct the hologram before the fall of the yuga. And that's what you guys are being defined as, by connecting with your souls in the undistortion. So we may be doing that as an operation to go in and reset the computers of Atlantis, if you guys would like that little adventure. So you see, this isn't just about, oh, I'm going to become lighter. This is about some heavy duty stuff that if you actually were able to make it to where the viral distortions never occurred, and as long as they are fulfilled, not required to show up, then you can have it to where it actually is much easier now, because this time becomes the ancient future, because it's correcting the reversing of the correction of the reverse. So it's really interesting. And if you guys use your minds, you're asking for it to try and figure this out. Sense it. All right? Put the mind away. Say, hey, mind, could you please poop and breathe and heartbeat myself and all that stuff, and keep that running, because I got to, work on this right now. Thank you so much, brain. Because it's the mind of God. The closest thing would be the intuiting of the Don Tiema, the fifth dimensional center, but that could be translated as to the intuition of the heart and the feelings of it. This is the one that is beyond the human emotional, tumultuous seas of emotion. This is the divine compassion and emotions of creation itself that the ascended masters embody and bring in through the different ages. You really are touching upon the pulse of the worlds and universes and creations that the masters facilitate all the time. You are standing upon the precipice of your own great awakening. The light of your beings shines brightly, awaiting to illuminate the temples of earth within which you are. And in this prophecy fulfilled through this fulfillment becomes you as God again. So breathe deeply, everybody. We call upon the Federation. Everyone stand witness. As you breathe in, you are going to do again the releasing of your day, of any trauma, any collective stuff. Hold it. Exhale all of that stuff. We're cleansing the different layers this time. We're like kind of like sanitizing you for the operation. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. One of you had a thought about that game operation. Don't touch the sides. Stop. And so, breathe in again. Stillness. Hold it. Let it permeate through. The four breaths to soul goes through the four bodies. So that was the emotional construct, which is the filter for the outside world. Now this is the mental breath going into the solace. Exhale, fall back into that solace within the stillness, the calm between the storm. Okay, breathe in the solace, fall back into the soul light, and this will be the emotional constructs, resetting it, clearing it out. We're basically dry cleaning all these fields because we're not going to take distortions where you're going. As you breathe that in, exhale, fall back into your soul. Okay, and now take that final breath of soul, release the soul, and go into the source this time, because we're going to have you start from there as we begin the collapse, which we will stop at soul. But the source is where you're going to do this from, okay? In the soul. Notice how this is a little different. So as you are in source, you may feel or sense all sorts of things, or see God, or in its billions of versions. And so feel this light of the source that isn't even your soul. It is like the light of God within you. This is like the soul of God itself. This is the source light, and it was diminished, but now it's time. Guys, okay. All right, God light. Good. Because we were gonna check. Thank you for saying that, Joe T. This thing said, "Oh, nobody's here. We're gonna shut off." It's like, no, stop it. Are we gonna have to put an earth field out to make sure that we're still readable? Because we do kind of fall off the reservation when we're up there in Happy Land, right? It's like, oops, Patrick, sometimes the devices say, well, there's nobody here now. Everybody go home. No, guys, stop it. We're going to get your other phones and the ones based on crystal and consciousness and sentient awareness, because you guys just aren't able to go where we're about ready to. Okay, so breathe in the God light. All right, let this permeate. That's good, okay. Stay on, please. It wasn't your guys' side. This thing just said, oh, that's it. Wait a second. Come on. There we go. It was like, oh, we're done. No, you're not. Okay, so here's the situation. Let's work this. As that God light, which is basically the soul of God itself within you, breathe in the soul, We're going to ignite it, connecting the central sun, because remember, there's no separation of the quantum state. So activating the central sun in the soul of God within your souls, within your bodies. Okay, so feel this reconfiguration, this recalibration. Oops, we even turned this audio off. Really? Okay. Sorry. If you guys are forgetful, it's not Alzheimer's, it's not sometimers, it's basically the electromagnetic storage system of the holographic nature of memory recordation. And it could be part-timers or full-timers. And so this nature of God that you are breathing in and circulating, let it permeate through, circulate in all whatever directions. You might be seeing God in many forms, the billions of forms. And so now we are going to expand this out. This will take any perturbations and we're going to expand them out further, and it's going to keep the rippling, and it might be a little bit of rockiness or not. Some of you have already done so much work that this would be like a little adjustment. Oh, tweaking. And so as this breath of the soul of God goes out through your soul, through yourselves, it resets everything to prepare for the alignment. Actually, this does the alignment. And now we are going to take, since the spiritual, mental, the emotional, and the physical are now aligned with this process of the inner. So what we are doing right now is basically taking, right, this is the self with the different aspects of the spiritual, the mental, the next layer, the emotional, and the physical. And we're going to, that's the outer shell of self, right? And we're going to actually, you usually travel without that. So you go within without the shell, but we are going, what we are doing now is we've calibrated this, so we're going to now collapse the self into the soul, okay? And we're going to fold it like a costume ready for the wardrobe. So let's do this. Ready? So as everybody go out to your outer shell of spirituality focus. So see yourself in the outer part. It could be 3 to 5 feet out from your bodies. That's the layer of spiritual energy connected with your presence here. And so go out there, see yourself, and you can even look in at yourself. Now you are also in the soul of God within your own soul. So remember, you can be here and here and here and here and here because you're multiple professional schizophrenics. All right, so now see this, and we're going to take this field and we're going to, with the breath of God, breathe it through you, and it's going to take this spiritual layer and we're going to bring it in. It's almost like one of those tents that unfold. We're going to bring it in, not really accordion, but we're going to kind of fold it into the mental plane. So breathe in from the emotional state. Okay, hold that. As you exhale, feel your emotions go into the mental field now. Now breathe from the mental plane, go in. That's about 2 to 3 feet. Okay, now in the mental plane, which has been calibrated, remember, we've cleared out a lot of stuff. Everything seems to be working. And so now breathe from the mental plane and take the emotion in the mental. And as you exhale, let go and just go into the emotional layer. So the spiritual layer, mental, now emotional. And feel that all fit perfectly together. And now, as we have these integrate together like a beautiful folding cloth, your costume fits so well. It's like nesting dolls. And so now breathe in the spiritual, mental, emotional. And that's one, yes, it's 1 to 2 feet. And now breathe it in. And as you exhale, feel it go into the physical, which is from 0 to 12 inches out, right? We're going to open the soul within you into a big, beautiful gate right now. So it's like beautiful. You can stand amidst the backdrop of the magnificence of this great, mighty portal of the temple opening of your soul. So you're like this thing, and this thing's huge. So we're changing the quantum state perception, everyone. Just see this beautiful gateway into the soul. And in fact, we're going to create 6 of them from all directions. So breathe in the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And when you exhale, hold it, fall back and collapse. Bring those whole costume in to your soul energy. Now, and just feel it all coming in like a suitcase. And so now we are going to go into the soul of God within your soul. Remember, focus to that because we brought the costume in. Now you're going to breathe from that point of the soul of God within your soul, the source point. Ready? Breathe it in. Breathe in this. Breathe in the source into what you would call the lungs. And as you breathe it out, breathe it through the costume of the 4 layers. See this change into raiments of light, these robes of the gods, each one becoming transformed, reconfigured. And what we're going to do is we're not going to bring you out like an accordion costume. We're going to actually have aspects of the 4 selves. And that's what you're going to operate with. But we're going to leave you in the chrysalis of your own soul, because this reconfiguring of that will be based upon the cosmos of perfection. Then, as this week progresses, by Wednesday, you will already start expanding. And this is going to go, and as this expands, right, in its natural state, you don't have to do anything. It's kind of on auto expansion. Then it is reconfiguring based upon the soul matrix and reference. See how we're doing that? So you're going to be in your incubus, your incubators for a little while. How are you guys doing? Report in the chat, please. So, as we have folded it like costume, right? So now You have this enfolded identity, right? That is drawn into the soul self for reconfigurement. Okay? And what this will do is basically your you self, which is those 4 layers of identity, is being deconstructed. It's no longer what was. You are being re-referenced because you there's nothing here in the physicality dimension that can serve to reference you properly for not only the new earth, but your God self, your ascended master self, your angelic self, or whatever aspects you are bringing in. What if you're an emissary of, say, a star system or something? It's not about losing who you are now. This is about enhancing who you are. You notice how this energy seems natural for many of you. It's like, oh, okay, yes. Ah, oh, finally, I get out of that weird little strange wrestling match called being in a life. And I could just breathe easy here. Now, what's really cool about this, everyone, is that this combines the best of all different aspects that we've been working on over the years. You've got the still point, you got the soul itself, right? You've got the God soul, you've got this stuff. And so at some point, when you get to your soul self, are you not at the same level and in some ways exceeding the spirit guides that you guys have? But what are spirit guides? They guide from the spiritual realm. But if you get it, do you need them to do that? No, you're doing it. So basically, your guides then saying, oh, okay, well, they got it. Now we'll go do someone else. We're going to make sure that this person is like this. But so basically, the guide's purpose is fulfilled by you doing this because you're getting it. They really like having their job easier. Humanity is so good at making their job really challenging. They learn diplomatic patience in dealing with a 3rd-dimensional person they're assigned to that sometimes just doesn't seem to budge or stuck in their fear or whatever. And so you guys are actually these willing creatures, and you're going, aha, and they're saying, whoa, yay, I'm going to sit here, roll some pirouettes and play more cosmic chess because now my job has gotten really easy. Is it really that easy? Oh my God, they're evolving into their light bodies and still keeping their flesh. Really? Is that possible? Yes. So the guides are saying, wait, we need to check the records. We'll actually make the guides have to check their Gmail and do their research. Because it's like, really? Can he do that? It's like, well, we just did it, right? Okay. Yeah. So they're going, um, um, um. And it's really interesting when you take these advanced spiritual beings and they're going, wait a second. Wait, I got to check some files here in the halls of wisdom. It's like, well, guys, yeah. And the reason we're doing this now is because it wasn't done before. And really, you could have facilitated this in a greater manner before, but we understand it was a hands-off matrix. But, times are different. So guides, guess what your assignments are? You're going to help these people get into their ascended master. They're going to be basically getting comfortable in their ascended master skin. And so if you're not separate from your soul, and your soul is part of the sandwiching of who you are in this world, in some ways, that is the fulfillment of prophecy, right? Humanity is going to ascend. The gods will walk with mankind on the earth. You can walk down the street naked. Naked meaning who you truly are. It's not about, oh, I'm going to have minimal clothing. This is, I can roll giant Kartronian spliffers and be in the buff. It's not really like that. This is about really being available. And you guys are the prototypes, by the way, BTW, that we are using. Because if you guys, with all of your things, some of you have pain, physical pains and stuff like that, can be doing this, right? It's like anybody have pain that has changed while doing this session? Yes, the sheets of brilliant white light went into the collapsed costume, and so now there's going to be reconfiguring. You don't have to rush this. Don't hurry it up. We've got these other shells, right? You have an emotional, a mental, a spiritual, mental, emotional, and a physical selves that'll operate. It's kind of like this thing. It's like, were you really actually doing something conscious with it, or just basically going through the system in some rote and robotic way? So you're not needed right now. The vehicle's driving okay. You're going to work, you're doing this, you're paying bills. It's not like you need some Einstein to make sure that you put gas in your tank. So right now, we have basically reassigned you within yourselves. Be available completely. The way to be available is by not being available, because there's nothing to be available for, because you already are in the quantum state. You create by not creating. So since you already are, you can just be available. What the heck? Two things fell over? You guys, hello. Yeah. Was that a rush? Why did two devices fall over? Okay. Suddenly. Uh, did we fall into love? Oh, what the heck was that? That was Kartron not paying attention. Uh-oh, the attention bill came due and they weren't there. You guys okay? Yes, tripod rush. It's like, whoa, pretty clouds. What the hell was that? Had this been an actual ascension? And so just be available for yourselves. That's Uranian energy, right? Uranus and this other one, which is very unexpected, right? And we could make a weird joke about it, like, well, you got to be careful about what can come out of Uranus. And so it's like, okay. So now just stay in there. There's no rush. We're actually going to be watching now that this thing does not collapse again. So just be available, for that self that is being reconfigured. There's nothing to do. Just relax into it. You can observe the quietness that is still available. You have a rare quiet right now, because you can feel some of this is very busy, and other parts are going, huh? And other parts are going, this feeling of right? Be in that, recall that, and just look around in here, because you're in God's soul and your soul. And so it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to relax and not have to look for anything. And that's how things are found, because guess what? The information, the energy, the process, whatever shows up when you stop needing to move. That's the tachyonic process of the kinetic energy, of looking, of the mind having to find the answers. If you relax, the answers can catch up to you. So by being and not having to doing, then you can be available for this innate knowledge. Many of you are not used to something this subtle. The more powerful lessons on the planet are the quietest. And so you'll get into this, and by showing up for your own being, that is the definition of grace. Because grace can start coming in. We will talk later about how to use these energies to start changing your reality. But right now, just be available for this. We want to thank you guys. Rebecca, technology fainted, Elga said, because the tripod fell over. So thank you, everybody. There's no place else to go, right? We've already taken you basically to the highest, greatest, most amazing, burn your ass, everything. Yay, woohoo, right? And then next week will be the two different aspects, the Wednesday, and then just know that this next Saturday is when we're going to actually, right? We've aligned, right? Now we're going to integrate and make it kind of a permanent fixture in your lives. Now you can kick this stuff out, but you'd have to work really hard at it. Then, are we going to abandon you? Well, no, you're going to need the training on how to be able to use it as someone who is here, kind of like in the works of the masters. How are you going to bless somebody or give them destiny or help engineer their lives or give them the perception and perspective that will allow them to realize that they have the power to change their lives in the ways that they want right now, no matter what their situation. You guys have that ability. And in order to learn how to use that properly and be available for this, it will be demonstrated to you so that you can then start exercising these processes. Let's do a quick chimney cleaning. The portals of transmutation, 100 miles across in the upper electromagnetic grid of the lower stratosphere, all over the planet, we are reigniting those. That's what we use to clear things out with. The energy gets clogged up here, right? So everybody, let's do a chimney clean. Let's do it from your God soul self. We got a bunch of little nuclear ingots right now, so let's really cook this joint, shall we? Let's test run this. Let's see what this baby can do. Vroom, vroom. Nope, nothing here. What's this tire track around the planet that happened and went backwards in time? That's how fast this device is. Yeah, it's got a Hemi. And so it's a cool Hemi time machine. Vroom, combined with Mercedes. And Mercedes is doing well. She said, yes, I'd like one of those. All right, so now we are going to, together, because now you guys are going to be the ones to do the work. You will, with us, intend this. You will see this. You will know this happening, all right? This is like the first lesson that we were going to wait, but let's just do this. All right, you guys are ready because you're there from this God soul self within your soul self. All right, this is God soul, right? This isn't about suddenly changing the planet permanently, but let's clear it out. And so, on the count of three, we are going to send through each of those portals of transmutation, 100 miles across, a orb of deep violet energy. So 1, 2, 3, see this drop down, and they're evenly spaced on the surface of the planet or just above it. Now we're going to expand them, and as they do, they're going to have a radiant spherical field that's going to go out, and there where they will then coat all the charges, polarizations, crystallizations, thoughts, emotions, and other type of energetic dynamics that are no longer required with this thin layer, a micro layer of violet energy. So 1, 2, 3, we expand all these violet suns out. And as they go out, they just coat with violet fields a layer of this Saint Germain's energy, separating all of the negative and non-positive and everything. Now, what this does, the violet flame, is it releases the juxtaposition of things in relation to other things. So basically, you take it out of that same plane or dimension. Planer, not plane or dimension. And so now we're going to put a blanket of Saint Germain's violet flame in the earth, in the flesh of the mother, below the layers of mankind, not the star bases and stuff. Let's just do this first one. And so that's in the flesh, like under the skin of the mother. And now on the count of three, Michael, could you please assign the angelics? And you guys are going to, with the hands of God, actually lift this stuff up, okay? From your God soul selves. So 1, 2, 3, everybody, let's take this blanket and we move it up and out, and everything that's there of a dense nature, it collects. It's like a net. 1, 2, 3, pull this up now. And it got all this density that's collected wherever in the planet goes to its localized portal. So as this expands for humanity, it takes the negative feelings and thoughts and emotions and heaviness and density. Now, guys, what we're taking is what's complete, okay? The experiences can be fulfilled, and then they can get stuck, and they bounce in people's energy field, So it's like this redundancy that can't escape. What we're doing is we're kind of like clearing it out so that we can get a fresh energy in here. So just see it going, taking all the heaviness with it. And so now, as this goes up, it takes through the God gate. The most important stuff is recorded in the mind of God. The other stuff is renewed, made new again, so that the energy is made pure without the charge of the history of the energetic and all that stuff. It's absolutely pure, divine, like a virgin energy. It's like fresh ray from God's source. And so as this renews, it's available again. Yay! And so then we take that and that energy in the renewed state with all that layer of data and information and experiences, records and imprints gone. It's now just pure divine energy to keep animating the next thing. So as this goes out, right? Feel it being cleared. Let's do another blanket layer. Blanket underneath the flesh. Everybody pull it up now with the angels. We're going to do the second layer. This is the subtle energies. And it's clearing out those quiet charges because, you know, the dissimilitudes, the resonant alignments, the dissonance creates a sympathetic association, creating more dissonance. So that goes now. And as this goes, now we're going to take it, we are taking it up into the gateways, transmuting the Lasset energy. What a big mess. And so now we're going to bring in this life force. We're going to start it, but not do it a lot. We're going to let this reset, kind of like what we're having new reset in your God soul. And so the chimney cleaning, the way you can tell is you can breathe the energy air of different parts of the planet. So pick a conflict zone. How about the Mexican-US border right now, where they're trying to do some stupid political ploy? Oh, we're going to do this and bring our women and children, and this isn't fair, this wall is so wrong, or some weird little game-playing thing. It's like, guys, what are you, hello? Really? You guys are like the car dealers that really need a straitjacket if you keep this up. But then again, this whole construct has been reversed, and that's why everything's backwards, and the top layer is rewarded for illicit activity. So, hey, deconstructing it may take this weird reverse engineering of strange media of everything that is not, just to get into this layer of really dysfunction that we've taken the charge of. And so now everybody breathe the air at the Mexican border where this conflict is and see if it feels any better with your astral spiritual lungs. Okay, now let that go. Let's do the Middle East with its usual conflicts, right? Okay, breathe that in. How's that feel? What about a place of natural disasters? There's two tropical storms heading towards Mexico. Let's go over there in the Pacific Ocean. Breathe that. We are also saying, let us breathe the air of Brazil. You notice how it's different. The density is mitigated. And let's breathe the energy that was tight, that spiritual air in Saudi Arabia, because boy, is that happy camper coming up, huh? Breathe it. Now, you notice how you didn't get affected, but you were just seeing this is a litmus of it. Do you guys notice that? Yes. And so it's like, ew, that weird, gunky stuff. Like, Kailash, if you're going to India to be at the Mother Temple or whatever, right? You don't want to be clogged up by billions of thoughts that are going, I'm stuck, help, right? It's like, oh, get it out of here, ship it off, another container. Yes, Jesus and Buddha, they bring stuff in, but they don't have to take the crap out. Oh my God, hold your nose, it's going by. Very important stuff, right? But it is a little bit more landfilly. And if it's there, it doesn't allow for a flow. Even the darkness that would be darkness, what would be considered darkness, appreciates this because now we can finish the next layer and the next layer and the next layer. You guys can do chimney cleaning even without the group. So if you see a place, just take the violet blanket flame, put in the violet sun, expand it out, surround all this stuff, and clean that area. And just know that only that which fulfilled, because you don't want to take out what isn't, because it could come back bigger and weirder. See, that's part of the corner boot camp training that probably has to happen around Halloween for a 2-day course online. Remember, your assignments are to not rush this process and to just be available and just be so that you can then have this energy and information occur because it's automatic. We are complete. You will tell us what goes on with you because this gives us the necessary litmus finger on the pulse so that we can adjust it before we give it out to the world. We want to thank you for being the ones who really are making this happen with our processes. This is Kartron, and we'll see you on the other side. Farewell. Hi, guys. How are you doing? Wow, that was a ride. Gravity took this without asking us. How dare you? Plopped on the grass. It's like, hi, help me. I need my diaper changed. I'm on my back. I can't roll over. That was interesting. I need human to help me. We don't have a human available. We got a Kartron. It's okay if he picks you up. Good. That's nice. We'll brush you off, make you look good, wash you up a little bit. You'll be good as new, kid. And so thank you guys for being a part of this episode 7. And Rebecca has her final manifestation class. Now, if you guys haven't attended the other 3 manifestations, that's okay. You can put in a request because there's collective energy that's really built now as far as getting this done. And you can contact her, soulfire444gmail.com. She's charging, only $10 for an audio call of taking combined angelic steroided collective focus energy and really manifesting those things. So, and if you guys get any manifestations, please remember to report to her from the process so that she can keep adjusting also. Thank you so much for showing up. We are complete. And Yeah, life is good. That was funny. Good. Yes. All right. We'll see you guys later. Uh, complete. Gonna go and see if we're supposed to do anything else. Oh, always look forward to this tearing stuff out. That was really cool. We totally tore out the dining room and stuff. I don't know if you guys saw this, but very quickly, this is what's going on. I gotta show you, because we're showing you all this other stuff, right? So, we tore that out. It is so gone. The hardware is getting on. And so this wasn't needed. So we just took that whole wall out. There was this partitions for the fridge, and then this other compartment, and then this thing was blocking this door. This is an actual door that was made and engineered. There's the rusty fender with the tires under it. And so I had to get in here, and this hole, for whatever reason, they put a tin roof in here and took out all the stuff. So it's like, okay, we're going to rebuild the frame, check for leaks, put it back together, and it becomes a beautiful white room. Because look what Rebecca's doing. Oh, yeah. So this is doing pretty good, guys. And that's what it looks like with the gold fixtures. It's going to be pretty ascended. And with the laminate or bamboo, if we get the finances, we'll do the bamboo. We get it cheap on Craigslist. We're going to have a beautiful ascended place. So thank you so much, guys. We're going to talk with you later. I might even get a new set of cabinets or reduce the length on this, because I can actually take out probably 6 or 7 inches, and then we'll have even more room here. Isn't that cool? So yes, this old camper episode. Oh, and by the way, one of the things that I found necessary that nobody does. Look, I'm traveling through the camper. Oh my God, let's do it again. There's so much distance. Help. Oh my God. Oh, we're going through the time portal of the 40-footer. Yes. Oh my God, help. Is I'm going to take you guys on a tour through a hardware store so that you can see how to actually get parts. Because going through a Home Depot can intimidate the hell out of you if you don't know what you're doing. You can kind of sit there and go, you're lost if you don't know how to look for parts. And if you're going to be doing stuff yourself like this, then you're going to need to know where to go get a part without having to wait for some guy to assist you that isn't there. So anyway, what's cool also about this is that this actually has its own stereo and barometer, and it's just really cool. This will be the altar or whatever. And Rebecca's been doing this. So with the gold painting that we're doing on these things, it's looking pretty good. Yes. We could do essential oils to the paint, but right now we just want to get this done because we'll be able to use essential oils in the air. So guys, thank you so much. Life is good. Oh yeah. It's like fun. It's like, hey, we're doing this together. Okay, so we'll see you later. Yay. Okay. Yes, it will be awesome, but it's like, I've been waiting. We thought, oh, it's going to be a week, tear out the crap and bring it in, but then we found the rot and all the other residents and stuff. So Rebecca's doing a great job. She's an angel that's working. It's going to have a lot of angel energy in it and quantum nature stuff. Talk to you later. Have a nice day. Bye.